Welcome back to Time with God series, Joyce Meyer's Everyday Life Bible Journey for Busy Moms. I'm WendyMichelle Thompson, and today we are diving into chapter 22. And there's some more names. And look, guys, I have my little phonetic spellings written out. So if you see me looking at them, some of these are not that bad this time, but in chapter 24, there's some doozies. Verse 1. After these events, God tested and proved Abraham and said to him, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. God said, Take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering upon one of the mountains of which I will tell you. Can you imagine this child that Abraham and Sarah have waited on so long? And God says, sacrifice him for me. That would be a tough one. Verse 3. So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and his son Isaac, and he split the wood for the burnt offering, and then began the trip to the place of which God had told him. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. Verse 5. And Abraham said to his servants, Settle down and stay here with the donkey, and I and the young man will go yonder and worship and come again to you. Then Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and laid it on the shoulders of Isaac his son, and he took the fire pot in his own hand and a knife, and the 2 of them went on together. And Isaac said to Abraham, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. Isaac said, See, here are the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt sacrifice? I'd be thinking the same thing. Abraham said, My son, God himself will provide a lamb for the burnt offering. So the 2 went on together. When they came to the place of God, which God had told him, Abraham built an altar there. Then he laid the wood in order and bound Isaac, his son, and laid him on the altar on the wood. Verse 10. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took hold of the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. He answered, Here I am. Like nothing. Here I am, with the knife in his hand over his son. Oh, man, this one just makes my heart race. And he said, Do not lay your hand on the lad or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear and revere God, since you have not held back from me or begrudged giving me your son, your only son. Then Abraham looked up and glanced around, and behold, behind him was a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for a burnt offering and an ascending sacrifice instead of his son. So Abraham called the name of that place, "The Lord Will Provide." And I know Isaac was like, oh, oh. And it is said to this day, on the mount of the Lord it will be provided. Verse 15. The angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time and said, I have sworn by myself, says the Lord, that since you have done this and have not withheld from me or begrudged, given me your son, your only son, in blessing I will bless you, and in multiplying I will multiply your descendants like the stars of the heavens and like the sand on the seashore. And your seed, meaning your heir, will possess the gate of his enemies. And in your seed, which really means Christ, because Jesus is in his lineage, shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, and by him bless themselves, because you have heard and obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned to his servants, and they rose up and went with him to Beersheba. There Abraham lived. Verse 20. Now after these things it was told Abraham, Milcah has also borne children to your brother Nahor, Uz the firstborn, Buz his brother, Kemuel the father of Aram. Verse 22. She said, Hazo, Pildash, Jidlaph, and Bethuel. Bethuel. There you go. That's better. Bethuel. Bethuel became the father of Rebekah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother, and his concubine, whose name was Rumah, bore Tebah, Gaham, Hahash, and it is Tehash, but it is pronounced Hahash, and Maacah. And that ends chapter 22. Please comment below what you think. I have heard this story, read this story so many times, and I think, wow, what faith and trust and servitude Abraham had to God. He had waited for this son until he was 100 years old. And I think Isaac was probably around 12, 13, if I remember correctly. And you know how they have bonded at this point and had to be just the apple of Sarah's eye. Can you imagine being asked, sacrifice your son? And all along, Isaac's just following his father. It's a journey with dad. But where's the sacrifice? We're carrying the wood and the fire pot, and the servants are being asked to stay back with the donkey, and Abraham says, we will be back. Wow. I can't say that I would not say, God, you're asking me to sacrifice my son, but that is exactly what God did for us later on to bridge the gap because of the sin and the evil in the world. We could not speak directly to God unless you went in through some kind of anointed priest in a tent, and there just had to be all kinds of special circumstances, and very few ever got to be face to face with God. When Noah went up on top of the mountain, where he grabbed the 10 Commandments, he grabbed them. God engraved them with his finger, and being right there in the face of God, he came back down that mountain to find all the people having a party and really living it up. But just by being in the presence of God, he had turned completely white-headed. Other times, God had presented himself as a burning bush, different things like that. Something to think about. Guys, I want you to please don't forget to click to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this content. Please share it with others. Click that bell so that you get notifications for all my video uploads. And tomorrow, I am excited to announce a couple things. One is I'll be discussing some great Christmas ways that you can help give to others in need through Joyce Ministries. And there are so many different things that you can choose from, and you don't have to have a lot of money, because what everybody gives, whether some have a lot, some have a little, it all comes together to help people in need. Girls that are being sold into slavery, wells being dug up where there is no clean water and people are dying, providing animals, there's smaller animals and whatnot for communities to be able to raise and have for food. There's all kinds of different ideas, and I'm excited about sharing those with you. And you can always go to joycemeyer.org to go ahead and look at that right now yourself. I'll be actually showing you the gift guide and everything tomorrow and going more into that. But also, too, I had said on one of my little notes on my screen that I am going to be starting a Christmas giveaway. And I did this last year with my Facebook Lives, and I had so much fun with it. I love giving, and it's something that I think you guys will just really enjoy. There's some things for those who have small children that are great ways to do children Bible studies and have these things to go along with it so that children can really enjoy and get into it. Children love visual learning and manipulating with little puppets, and I actually have a set. I actually have 2 sets of biblical character finger puppets. They are adorable. And there's other things that I'm wanting to give away too. And I will be talking about that tomorrow, about how you can be included in the contest so that you could possibly win these for free. And you don't have to be a subscriber. Of course, I would love for everyone who watches this to subscribe, but you do not have to be a subscriber to be part of the contest and win these free things. And these things are what I had in my e-commerce business last year, and they sold tremendously well, and I just love them. So please tune in for tomorrow so that you can catch all the rules, I guess, the rules of the contest. God bless your today and all your tomorrows. Thanks for joining. I love you all. Comment below what you think about this story.